Pakistan is often described as one of the world's most unstable states. This is not merely journalistic exaggeration. From the moment of its birth, Pakistan exists under the shadow of insecurity. In 1947, British India was divided into India and Pakistan. The partition produced one of the bloodiest upheavals of the 20th century. Millions of people found themselves on the wrong side of a new border, and mass migration quickly turned it into violence, panic and chaos. For Pakistan, independence did not begin with a sense of safety, but it began with fear. The new state had to build almost everything at once: an army, a bureaucracy, a financial system, a foreign policy, and a national identity. It lacked strong institutions, a stable economy, and the time needed for calm state building. Yet the central source of anxiety lay next door. India was larger, richer, more populous, and far stronger in conventional military terms. To Pakistan leaders, this imbalance looked existential. They feared not only defeat in war, but the possibility that India might one day impose its will, break Pakistan apart, or challenge its right to exist. This fear became the foundation of Pakistan's security policy. Soon after partition, the conflict over Kashmir began. For India, Kashmir became proof of its secular and multi-ethnic model. For Pakistan, it was a Muslim-majority territory that, by the logic of partition, should have joined the Muslim state. From the beginning, Kashmir was therefore more than land. It was a dispute over legitimacy, identity, and the unfinished meaning of partition. India and Pakistan fought more than once, and each for deepened Pakistan's sense of vulnerability. The trauma reached its peak in 1971 when East Pakistan broke away and became Bangladesh. Pakistan lost roughly half its population and a major part of its territory. For its military and political elite, this was proof that a conventional army alone could not guarantee survival. After that, the nuclear question stopped being abstract. If India had overwhelming conventional superiority, Pakistan needed a different kind of deterrent, one that would make any large-scale war too dangerous for India itself. In Pakistani strategic thinking, the bomb emerged not as a weapon of conquest, but as a weapon of survival. The paradox was that this project belonged to a country constantly in crisis. Pakistan faced repeated economic shocks, dependence on foreign aid and loans, high inflation, debt, unemployment, and mass poverty. Its political system was equally fragile. Civilian governments rose and fell, while the military repeatedly seized power and remained the dominant force behind policy toward India, Afghanistan, the United States, China, and the nuclear program. The army became more than a defense institution. It became one of the central pillars of the state. In such a system, the bomb was not only a scientific project. It was a question of power, fear, and control over Pakistan's future. Pakistan also faced terrorism, religious extremism, insurgencies, and armed groups that at different moments intersected with regional politics and intelligence networks. To the west lay Afghanistan, through which wars, refugees, weapons, narcotics, ideologies, and the interest of global powers all passed. This made Pakistan both unstable and strategically indispensable. During the Cold War, the United States needed Pakistan as a partner against the Soviet Union in Afghanistan. China valued it as a counterweight to India. Saudi Arabia and other Gulf states saw it as an important Muslim ally. As a result, Pakistan's nuclear program advanced in a world where great powers spoke the language of non-proliferation but often acted according to strategic convenience. That is the central paradox. Many governments understood that Pakistan was moving toward nuclear weapons. Intelligence agencies gathered information, diplomats issued warnings, and sanctions were discussed. Yet, every time, there were reasons not to apply maximum pressure: Afghanistan, India, China, regional stability, or the need of an ally in the Muslim world. In the end, a country widely seen as too poor, too unstable, and too dependent on external assistance built its own nuclear arsenal. Today, this makes Pakistan one of the most important and most worrying states on the planet. The issue is not simply that Pakistan has nuclear weapons. It is that those weapons exist in a region marked by wars, nationalism, and unresolved territorial dispute, and very little time for decision-making in crises. During the Cold War, the United States and the Soviet Union were separated by oceans and eventually built channel of communication and system of strategic restraint. In South Asia, everything is closer and faster. India and Pakistan share borders. Missiles can arrive in minutes. Public anger spreads instantly. A terrorist attack, a border clash, or a false signal can quickly become an international crisis. So the question, why does Pakistan have nuclear weapons, is much larger than it first appears. It is about a smaller country's fear of a stronger neighbor, the trauma of partition and war, the power of the military, the ability of poor states to build destructive technologies, and the double standards of great powers. Above all, it is about a state that feared disappearance signs the moment it was born. At the center of the story stands Abdul Qadir Khan, a man many Pakistanis still regard as a national hero. Khan did not look like someone who would change the strategic balance of South Asia. He was not a general, a president, or a revolutionary leader. He was a metallurgist, trained in Europe with expertise in materials and industrial processes. But that was precisely what made him valuable. In the 1970s, Khan came close to one of the most sensitive areas of nuclear technology: uranium enrichment. Enriched uranium can fuel reactors, but it can also provide the material for a bomb. Working in Western Europe gave him access to technical knowledge, professional networks, and industrial methods that Pakistan badly lacked. After India's 1974 nuclear test, this experience became priceless. Islamabad understood that slogans were not enough. Pakistan needed engineers, laboratories, centrifuges, metallurgy, procurement networks, and people able to turn national fear into a working program. Khan returned to Pakistan and offered exactly that. According to Western investigations, he brought not only expertise but also designs, technical information, and knowledge of how to build an enrichment chain for a poor country unable to buy a complete nuclear infrastructure openly. This was a decisive shortcut. The symbol of this effort became Kahuta Research Laboratories near Islamabad. Kahuta developed into the heart of Pakistan's uranium enrichment program, and the place most closely associated with the country's path to the bomb. The Pakistan's national narrative, Khan became the man who helped save the country. In the West, he was seen very differently, as a violator of non-proliferation rules and proof that the global system of nuclear control had serious weaknesses. For Pakistan, however, the logic was harsher and simpler. India had shown it could build a nuclear device. Pakistan did not want to remain without an answer. Abdul Qadir Khan gave that answer its technical form. In the 1970s and 1980s, Pakistan entered a covert race for the bomb. This was not a transparent state project debated in parliament or explained in newspapers. It was compartmentalized. Some people handled procurement, other engineering, others construction, and other diplomatic cover. Few saw the whole picture. The country remained pure, but the nuclear program is treated not as a luxury but as an insurance policy against national catastrophe. In the eyes of Pakistan's elite, money spent on the bomb was the price of survival. Resources therefore found. Equipment was bought through front companies. Components moved through intermediaries. Technologies were acquired in fragments, so that the final purpose would be harder to detect. If one channel closed, another opened. If one country tightened controls, procurement shifted elsewhere. Pakistan's program was not a neat scientific enterprise under ideal conditions. It was an underground engineering operation, built through secrecy, improvisation, and determination. Many major powers suspected what was happening. Intelligence agencies watched, diplomats warned, and non-proliferation experts sounded alarms. But between knowledge and action lies politics. Pakistan was too useful to be fully isolated. Its nuclear program developed in a gray zone, visible enough to worry the world, but not enough to be stopped. The main reason was Afghanistan. In 1979, the Soviet Union invaded Afghanistan. For Washington, the war became an opportunity to weaken Moscow near its southern border. but to support the Afghan Mujahideen, the United States needed a regional corridor. That corridor was Pakistan. Through Pakistan flowed money, weapons, intelligence support, and training. Pakistani intelligence became the essential intermediary between American strategy and the Afghan battlefield. Suddenly, Islamabad was not just another regional capital, it was a Cold War asset. The United States disliked Pakistan's nuclear ambitions and understood the danger. It could impose restrictions, issue warnings, and demand assurances. But each time, the same question returned. What mattered more immediately? Stopping Pakistan's bomb or keeping Pakistan as the key partner against the Soviet Union? In practice, geopolitics won. Washington did not want to lose the Afghan road, push Pakistan toward other partners, or damage a strategy aimed at bleeding the USSR. The result was not formal approval of Pakistan's program, but limited and inconsistent pressure. For Islamabad, that window of opportunity was decisive. In May 1998, India carried out a new series of nuclear tests. For Pakistan, this was the moment of truth. If Islamabad did not respond, India would stand as the only openly nuclear power in South Asia. Pakistani leaders feared that this would transform the psychological balance of the region. India would speak from a position of strength, while Pakistan would once again appear exposed. The pressure to answer became overwhelming. The military, political elites, public opinion, and the logic of decades of investment all pointed in the same direction. At the end of May 1998, Pakistan conducted underground nuclear tests in the Chagai Hills. The series became known as Chagai-1. For Pakistan, it was a moment of national triumph. A pure unstable, aid-dependent country had achieved strategic parity with India.